I am sick of success and motivation videos. I remember how I used to watch hundreds of them. How to stay motivated, how to be more disciplined, how to build muscle, how to approach girls. But nothing ever seemed to change. Of course, I had all the knowledge needed to be successful after so many videos. All the possible tips on how to stay disciplined and motivated. I knew exactly how to make money, how to build muscle, how to talk to girls. Yet there I was, not doing any of that, but instead watching one full season of How I Met Your Mother per day, and even more success videos, just to feel like I was doing at least something productive. No matter how hard I tried to implement what I was learning and take action towards reaching my goals, the inner resistance was always more powerful, pulling me back each time. I felt stuck. Things couldn't go on like that. If I could just find a way to take action in spite of the resistance. At some point, I decided to take a step back and try to understand this inner resistance. How does it even make sense? Why is a part of me fighting against myself? Why do I have to constantly use tips and tricks to force myself to be motivated? I started wondering, is it possible to somehow just get rid of the inner resistance and thus make success easy and effortless, without the need of constant battle and discipline? There had to be a way, and I had to find it. Well guys, after years of working on myself, I believe I have finally found it. In this video I'm going to share with you the 3 steps needed to let go of the inner resistance that is holding you back. This is going to get very deep, guys. Let's dive into it. Step 1 is understanding what exactly this inner resistance is. What is this force inside of you fighting against yourself, pushing in literally the opposite direction of where you want to go? Is there maybe a part of you that doesn't want what you consciously want? That's what it seems like, right? Let's use an example of something all of us guys want, which is being good with girls. Who doesn't want to be good with girls, right? Who doesn't want to date a beautiful girl? Here's a question for you. Do you actually deserve to date a beautiful girl? You're probably like, what the fuck, bro? Of course I do. Like, shut the fuck up. Of course I do. What do you want, man? But honestly, man, like, ask yourself, be really honest here. How do you feel when you are around beautiful girls? If you were put in a situation right now where you're around 10 super hot girls, how would you actually feel? Would you feel just super at ease, like, I don't give a fuck, what's up, man, just being yourself, all is good? Or would you feel like super tense, not knowing what to say, feeling super uneasy, not knowing what to do? And that right there is a problem, bro. Consciously we might say, yeah, I deserve her, but something in our subconscious believes I don't deserve her. This is key to understand. We think our conscious mind, which says, I want a beautiful girl, is all there is, but it only makes up a small portion of our entire mind. Underneath there is our subconscious mind, which makes up a much bigger part, believing, I just don't deserve her. You can almost think of the mind like an iceberg. You don't see what's underneath the surface, but that's actually what makes up most of it. The subconscious is where a lot of our beliefs are. For example, I don't deserve her, but that's just one of them. If we go deeper and deeper and deeper, we find more and more negative beliefs. And at the deepest level of our subconscious, we then find our core beliefs. Our core beliefs are basically the foundation of how we see the world, how we see reality, how we see ourselves. Now, a mistake most of us make is that we believe that our subconscious is just not active, that it doesn't matter what's down there because all that counts is what we consciously think, right? Well, that couldn't be further away from the truth. The truth is our subconscious is absolutely active, and everything we hold down there is dictating our whole experience of life. And bro, these negative core beliefs are literally the inner resistance we experience. We all think that this inner resistance is something normal, but the truth is, it's actually not. It's just a part of you that's getting exactly what it wants. The part of you that believes I'm not good enough is trying to stay congruent to that belief against you trying to consciously fight against it, to tell it I'm good enough, I want girls, I want this, I want that. Okay, so step 1 towards letting go of our inner resistance was understanding what exactly it is. Well, now we know the answer. Our core beliefs, which we hold deep in our subconscious and that we try to stay congruent to at all costs, since they're the foundation of our map of reality, are the inner resistance. This brings us directly to step 2, which is understanding where does this inner resistance come from? Or in other words, where do our core beliefs come from? You see, the mistake that almost everyone does is that we think that those beliefs are set in place, that we can't do anything at all about them, that that's just how we were born. Well, that's just not true at all. We weren't born holding those negative beliefs. You were born whole, full of potential, not holding any negative beliefs at all. When we're born, our mind is blank. But then shit happens, and by shit I mean social conditioning. We're born into a society that has certain beliefs, we're born into a family that has certain beliefs. Then we also go to school and meet friends that have certain beliefs, and teachers that have certain beliefs. And well, all of those is literally the only source of information we have, right? So we simply take on those beliefs. We don't have any other choice. Why? Well, as children, we need our parents or whoever is raising us for survival. So we have to take on their beliefs. And the same goes for school. We go to school, that's literally all we know. We just know school and our family. So adapting and being accepted by them is literally necessity if we want to survive. This phenomenon of taking on those beliefs of others are what's called social conditioning. Let's use the example of money. I don't know why I did that. When you're born, you don't have any beliefs at all about money. But let's say you're born into a family that believes money is bad. Money is evil. Only bad people have money. You shouldn't have a lot of money because then that would mean you're a bad person, which is actually a belief that a lot of families have. So let's say that's a core belief in your family. Well, of course you take on that belief, and that belief then is at the foundation of your map and is how you see money. Okay, so money is bad. Cool. Now here you are, an adult trying to make money, not knowing why you have so much resistance towards taking action, towards building a business. Well, that's the reason. Now you know it, that's the inner resistance. At the core, you believe money is bad, money is evil. So of course you don't actually want to make money. That inner part of you doesn't want to make money. Money. Okay, awesome. Social conditioning is one thing that forms our core beliefs, but it's not the only thing. There's something else that happens during our childhood. Trauma. Now, when you hear this, you're probably like, nah, bro, my childhood was quite good. I didn't experience any trauma. I didn't go to war. I wasn't raped as a child. But the truth is, we have all experienced trauma. Regardless of how good our childhood may have been, literally none of us are immune to it. Is going to war and seeing your friends die next to you traumatic? Of course it is. Is being raped traumatic? Of course it is. But that's not the only thing. Trauma can be anything that is perceived as life-threatening or just too overwhelming to experience at the time. You know, children can be overwhelmed by a lot of stuff that most of us as adults would see as just normal stuff happening. For example, being lost somewhere in the city for 2 minutes can be super traumatic to a child. So it literally just depends on the subjective perception of the event. Here's a personal example. For the longest time, I was scared to be anywhere alone. I remember back then I used to do ping pong, like table tennis ping pong, and I used to do it with a friend, right? I used to go to the training with a friend, but I just wasn't able at all to go alone. Whenever my friend was like, sorry man, I can't today, I just didn't go either, because I had like this huge fear of going somewhere alone. The same for shopping. I was already like 21 or 22. I literally felt so much resistance towards being in the city just by myself shopping, which is literally it's literally nothing. I remember I asked my mom at some point if she remembered if I was left alone at home or something else like that, and she actually told me that 2 times when she was shopping with my dad, I was sleeping in the car and they were gone for like 3 hours. And when they came back, I was literally lying there crying, like my head almost purple, literally crying my heart out, like thinking, I don't know, like my mom told me I looked like I was almost dead. I was almost going to die or something. So that's probably something that then caused in me to not be able to go anywhere alone, to always feel that trauma coming up, that resistance coming up when I was somewhere alone. And actually, let's talk about the other example we talked about before, which was liking girls, holding that belief of I don't deserve her. You know, when you were born, you didn't hold that belief. You didn't think I don't deserve girls or I'm not good enough. You were just like a guy, then you start growing, biology kicks in, and yeah, you start liking girls, man. But let's say during childhood, you liked a girl at school and you actually let her know, and she kind of made fun of you and didn't like you back. And then even worse, your friends found out about it, your family found out about it, and everyone just made fun of you. They didn't even mean it negative, but that's just the overwhelming experience that happened to you at the time. Because of that, you just decided, you know what? Fuck this shit, I don't like girls anymore. I'm just not good enough for girls, I just get rejected. I'm going to take this piece of me that likes girls, this just super normal biological phenomenon, and just put it out of me and get rid of it. I just don't like girls anymore. Just like with social conditioning, trauma leads to a split inside of us. The acceptable me and the not acceptable me. We basically took the belief money is just neutral and the belief I'm just a guy, I like girls, took it out of ourselves and put it in the not acceptable part. The new belief is then I don't like girls or I don't deserve a girl and money is bad. And then we just believe that. We try to stay congruent to that. Cool, so let's now get back to the main question, which was how to get rid of the inner resistance that's holding us back. We now know the first two steps. We know that our core beliefs are the inner resistance and that those core beliefs were shaped during our childhood by social conditioning and by traumatic experiences. Now on to step 3, which is how to actually let this resistance go for good. The answer to this question is actually incredibly simple. Presence. Most spiritual teachings point to this one thing. Some call it presence, others awareness, others consciousness, but it's all the same thing. Being present, being aware, being conscious. But here's the problem. 99% of people get the concept of presence completely wrong. You see, being present involves two things. Number one is being present with all your emotions and thoughts. And yeah, this is where most people already fail. They think being present is just possible when you're in a happy state or in a peaceful state. I'm watching a sunset with my friends, oh my god, I feel so present, I love it. Now, is that presence? Of course it is. But what about when you experience negative emotions? What about when you're super triggered and anxious? What about this inner resistance we've been talking about? Most people only want to experience positive emotions. Yet it's the experiencing of the negative ones that contains all the gold, all the learnings, all the growth. It's those that will lead you to finally understanding yourself, your core beliefs, your traumas, etc. So you can finally let them go. So again, the first aspect of presence is being present with all thoughts and emotions, no matter if positive or negative. The second aspect then is to accept them fully, without any judgment. What this means is basically that whatever you feel or think, whether positive or negative, you just observe it happening inside of you, without wanting to change it at all, without wanting to get rid of it. You basically just observe it and accept it fully. This is such a key step, yet it's so fucking hard to do. I've personally struggled with this for a long time, and honestly, I still do every now and then. You see, the more you actually dive into your inner demons, the more you get to know yourself at a core level, the more you will see how fucked up you actually are. And well, as we just said, we all just want to feel positive emotions, so observing the negative ones, just letting them be there without wanting to get rid of them, accepting them fully, is fucking hard. You probably already noticed, the presence process, the journey within, is not a fun one. On the contrary, it involves doing the exact opposite of what everyone else is doing. Instead of always escaping when you feel resistance, when you get triggered, when you feel anxious, you stop, take a deep breath, and dive right into it. You observe it and fully accept the fact that it's happening. I personally think this process is literally the hardest challenge you will ever face, which is why almost no one does it. But then again, most people will forever stay stuck, held back by their inner resistance, aka their core beliefs and traumas. While it all sounds super scary, I can tell you this: the reward is more than worth it. Once you start, 1, being present with all thoughts and emotions, no matter if positive or negative, and 2, accepting them fully without wanting to change them or get rid of them, magic slowly begins to happen. You're not judging anything of what you've discovered inside of you, which basically means you're slowly accepting both parts of yourself, the acceptable and the unacceptable part. The split inside slowly starts diminishing. There is less fight between your conscious goals and your subconscious beliefs, until at some point, no more split. And what does no more split mean? No more inner resistance. Just you, whole, going in the exact direction you want to go, without internal blocks holding you back. Again, facing your inner demons isn't fun, but what choice do you have? Just picture yourself in 2 years. Where do you want to be? There's 2 options really. 1, you're still stuck where you are now, held back by inner resistance, still afraid to dive into your fears. And 2, you have faced your inner demons and have finally let go of the inner resistance. Reaching your goals is now easy for you, since you're not fighting against yourself anymore. The choice is yours really. Comfort or discomfort. Pick wisely. And that's it. We now know what the inner resistance is, where it comes from, and how to actually let it go for good so it doesn't run you anymore. Alright guys, if this was a rather complicated video, Don't worry, I'm gonna make a lot more on this topic. I just believe that this topic of limiting beliefs and of the inner journey is literally the most important topic when it comes to personal development, because I believe we all have so much potential inside of us if we were just able to find a way to let go of those inner limiting beliefs we all have. So I just wanted to make this as one of my first videos ever, even though it's rather complicated and I struggled a lot to try to make this understandable. So definitely gonna get better with time when it comes to delivering this topic. But yeah, if this is something that interests you, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, see you next time, guys.
Le dice que la quiere tocar.